Welcome back to the garage, guys. I'm Damien, and this is the Binder Builder. Today's video is all about the regular cleanup and tear down that you do right before a big project. Now that I have the bug in the garage, it's time to clean up and prep it for all the little plans that I've got. But before I do any of that, I realized I had very little working room here in the garage. So I went down to Home Depot and picked up about $50 in wood and started building. I ended up with a 4x5 foot workbench, about 43 inches tall. I even went down to Harbor Freight and grabbed some swivel casters to make sure it could be put wherever I needed it. With that, it was time to start cleaning up and tearing down the bug. The first thing I do with my builds is I just clean everything up.
Let's go!
Even my daughter Bella came out to help. Good times. I told my wife once I needed a shop vac, so for Christmas she bought me this little mini shop vac. So we figured we'd pull it out and see how it does. I'll be honest, this little shop vac actually works pretty good. I've had big shop vacs that didn't work as well as this thing does, so pretty happy with it. After that, I showed Bella how to disassemble the front passenger door panel and let her have at it. When she was finished with the passenger side, she tackled the driver's side all by herself. After the door panels were removed, we started on the dash. Having never taken apart a bug dash before, I didn't realize the dash pad was held on by not just the screws and the glue, but also two bolts on either end of the dash. Sooner or later, the dash pad was out and we started on the rear door cards. After the rear door cards, of course, this nasty headliner had to come out too. And then all the miscellaneous upholstery bits. I'm gonna miss all that vinyl. The bug was cleaning up and starting to look pretty good, but there was this funky goo stuff they used to hold the carpet or something on the partial shelf. I don't know what this stuff is, but it has to go. So with a wet respirator on, I got to work with the wire wheel and attacked everything in sight. Then I brought out the mini shop vac again to vacuum up all the crud left over. Probably should have vacuumed my hair. This is the next day. I actually went ahead and rolled it out of the garage and just started cleaning up. I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere for a while, so I wanted to start off with a clean slate just to make everything nice. After I was back inside and on jack's done, I removed the tires. A local guy offered to buy them from me as well as the front beam, and I was ready to get rid of them so I could have room. This garage isn't as big as it may look. You may have noticed that I put the jack stands on small furniture dollies from Harbor Freight. This allows me to roll the bug around and then push it back against the shelves when I'm not working on it. After all, like I said before, we still use this garage to park in, so all the extra room helps. Then I saw something that really concerned me. With the front beam attached, as I lowered the jack, the pan actually pulled away from the body. Right there. Ooh. I'll be honest with you guys, that kind of worried me. All the scouts and things that I've worked on in the past, the bodies were pretty stout. I imagine this body is pretty stout, but the pan itself, which I consider the chassis, I'm used to something real stout. So when it started to pull away from the body like that, that kind of worried me a bit. So I immediately got some small jack stands and supported the beam until I could remove it. The bug is pretty high up right now, so I went ahead and lowered it down just a skosh, just to, you know, if it falls while I'm trying to move stuff around and stuff, it won't fall that far. I could always raise it up later. Once everything was pretty much where I wanted it, I had my daughter lower the jack while I supported the beam to make sure it didn't fall or do anything funky as it came down. I was going to use these furniture dollies to move it toward the garage door, but I ended up just dragging it along with the jack anyway. Interesting, as I pulled the front beam off, I just noticed that the body and the pan were already separated. All I needed to do was make that separation bigger. I even tested the weight of the bug body. What surprised me was how light this body was. That was a shock. So I called for Bella again and raised the body up to get the pan out. As I lifted, she adjusted the jack stands. That worked actually pretty good. Then I figured, why stop there? Let's lift this up so I could literally stand in the bug while working on the interior. So I got some wood and started jacking the body up as high as I felt I needed. Here I'm using these 2x4s. What I'm doing is I'm basically setting the jack stands far apart, the large jack stands far apart. So as I put the wood in, the body can sit on the 2x4s, and then the jack stands are far enough out so I can roll the pan in and out without having to worry about bumping or knocking one of the jack stands. But I thought maybe a little higher still. So I will say I do like the height, and being able to lift this bug body up so I could fully stand underneath the bug without the pan in there really is going to make working on the interior a breeze. I then put small jack stands on the furniture dolly and placed them under the pan. With the added height of the body, this actually still worked with the pan rolling in and out even with the extra height. With that, we're pretty much almost done with the teardown of the bug. Everything's pretty much separated and so forth. But it was time to actually do what I consider the most therapeutic and refreshing thing you could do during a build, especially this during the teardown process, and that is to remove all factory wires. Now I understand that there's a few of you out there who would love to use the factory harness. That's not for me, man. I gotta tell you, I'm gonna use a new harness. So it's probably gonna be a painless or an easy or some other harness, but something that is fresh, something that is clean, something that I know has good grounds. I just want it all fresh, and that's what we're gonna do. So it's out with the old, in with the new. Now that's a happy sight. Nothing but a bunch of wire in the trash can. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Sorry for all the time-lapse stuff, but literally if I were to just start to sped that up, it would be one super long and super boring video. I hope that you enjoyed this teardown of the bug. Hope you saw some things that you can use in your build. If you see something that I need to do differently, go ahead and leave it in the comment section or send me a message. I would love that. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, and all that YouTube stuff for me so you don't miss a single episode of this Baja build. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. I'm Damien, and this is the Binder Builder. See you on the next one, guys.